Hello friend. The day when an estimated 240 million computers were left behind by Microsoft, Zorin Group from Ireland has released a newer, more advanced version of their popular operating system. Yes, Zorin OS 18 has arrived. If you are new to the world of GNU Linux, let me give you a brief introduction. Zorin OS is a famous GNU Linux-based free and open source alternative to Microsoft Windows and Apple's macOS. Designed to make your computer faster, more powerful, secure, and privacy-respecting. Zorin OS 18, which is based on Ubuntu 24.04 LTS, is designed to be a perfect Windows and macOS replacement for everyday users, professionals, and everyone in between. Thanks to its ease of use and powerful features, Zorin OS has earned a wide critical acclaim throughout the years. Zorin OS is a highly optimized operating system and can work on computers as old as 15 years. That means you can keep using your PC, which is not supported by Microsoft Windows, for a much longer time and save money on upgrades and reduce e-waste to help the environment. You can download and use Zorin Core Edition completely free of cost. And if you need more advanced features, additional applications, and support, you can purchase Zorin OS Pro for $48 or equivalent in other currencies. And this newer version will receive software updates and security patches until at least June 2029. Not only this, Zorin Group also release major versions of their operating system every 2 years. So, you will have plenty of time to upgrade to a future version to extend the support. Zorin OS has a clean and minimal official website, meaning it is very easy to navigate. And the downloading process of the Zorin OS installation ISO is also very easy. As soon as you land on their website, the first thing you will see is the bold blue colored download button of the latest release. And then there is the help and support section, blog section, and finally at the bottom there are some important links and informations. To get the Zorin OS 18 installation ISO, all you have to do is click the blue colored download button and it will take you to the main downloads page, where you will have the option to download your preferred edition of Zorin OS from the list. The first option is Zorin OS Pro, made for advanced users. And then there are Zorin OS Core for everyday users and Zorin OS Education Edition made for schools and students. And finally, at the bottom of the page, you will find the option to download Zorin OS Lite Edition designed specially for older, low-resource computers. And if required, you can also download older version of Zorin OS from Zorin OS Archive. But for today's demonstration, we will go with Zorin OS Core Edition. Once you click on the download button, it will ask you to provide your email address and subscribe to Zorin OS newsletter. But you can skip it and proceed to your ISO download. And after the downloading process is completed, all you have to do is create a bootable USB drive using programs like Rufus or Ventoy and boot into the live USB drive. The installation of Zorin OS 18 is a fairly simple and beginner-friendly process. When you boot into the live USB, you will have the option to try and install the operating system through a fully functional live environment, which allows you to explore, experiment, and test the system without making any changes to your hard drive. Additionally, Zorin OS also provide a separate option to install your system with modern NVIDIA drivers. Like most Ubuntu-based distros, in Zorin OS 18, the actual installation process is managed by the Ubiquity installer, a simple tool that only requires to answer 7 basic questions, like language selection, keyboard layout, disk partitioning, user creation, and few others. Once these are set, the installation proceeds quickly and efficiently. And in my test, the total time taken from the start of the installation to the first login was between 10 to 11 minutes, making it a fast and smooth GNU Linux installation experience. Zorin OS 18 now comes with an updated Linux kernel version 6.14 and a beautifully customized version of GNOME 46 desktop environment. The visual design of Zorin OS 18 is very simple yet appealing. It mimics the Windows 7 and Windows 10 theme but with a Linux touch and without any bloatware. The icons, the themes and fonts are all very well chosen and consistent. The user interface is also very easy to navigate. In Zorin OS 18, handling common tasks like connecting to Wi-Fi, managing files, or adjusting display settings is very straightforward. And new users who are coming especially from Microsoft Windows background will be able to adapt to this GNU Linux system in no time. New users can easily find what they are looking for without much hassle or searching. Zorin OS 18 out of the box comes with all the essential applications you will ever need, so you can get working right away after installation. For day-to-day tasks, you will get the Nautilus File Manager, GNOME Text Editor, a clock application, calculator app, weather app, image viewer app, music and video player, and a CD-DVD ripper and burner. For office tasks, Zorin OS comes pre-installed with the LibreOffice suite, along with a document scanner and viewer, which lets you view, create and edit different document formats. Then there is the Evolution email client for sending and receiving emails, and GNOME's contact and calendar app are there for improved productivity. In the internet section, you will get Brave as the default browser, Remina remote access client and a web app creator. And in the utility section, you get a network configurator, a backup creating application, drive and partition manager, an archive manager, a password manager, and a terminal emulator. Additionally, you get the Zorin Appearance tool, which lets you change the desktop layout to feel like the environment you are familiar with, whether it is a Windows, Mac operating system, or Linux. Then there is Zorin Connect app, which is integrated in the Zorin OS desktop to merge the experience between your computer and your Android device. It works over an encrypted connection on your local network, so your data stays private and does not reach the cloud. Not only this, but Zorin OS also comes with built-in software updater, OS updater, and a graphical software store, with which you can install thousands of apps from the Zorin OS repo, Debian Ubuntu apt repo, FlatHub repo, and the Snap store. You can even run many Windows applications in Zorin OS with Windows App Support, which lets you install Windows-only applications through the Wine compatibility layer. And if you install Zorin OS alongside Windows, you can access the files of your Windows drive partition from within Zorin OS. Lastly, for gamers, Zorin OS comes pre-configured with NVIDIA, AMD and Intel graphics drivers as well as game optimizations, so you can get great performance right out of the box. With a modern rounded design and floating panel, Zorin OS 18 has brought a stunning visual refresh to an already well-built operating system. The new advanced window tiling manager makes multitasking effortless. You just have to drag the window to arrange them instantly. The built-in web apps tool turns any website into desktop apps, letting you run Microsoft Office, Adobe Photoshop, and Google Docs seamlessly. OneDrive integration is now also built in, making file access very easy for Windows migrants. Zorin OS 18 now detects over 170 Windows application installer, and in the meantime suggests you a better open source alternative. Windows App Support now has been upgraded with Wine version 10, running more Windows software than ever. Two new yellow and brown color themes has expanded the customization options, and performance improvements had made everything faster and more responsive. With enhanced audio via pipewire, new wallpapers, and expanded hardware capabilities, Zorin OS 18 is the most polished Zorin release yet. Out of the box, Zorin OS feels very snappy, smooth, and stable. Applications launch quickly, and you will rarely feel any lag while multitasking. And I have never experienced any crashes, glitches, or bugs during my testing. At ideal, the average system loads always stays under 1% and the memory usage lies between 950 to 1000 megabytes. The boot up and shutdown timings of Zorin OS 18 are also quite fast. On a fresh virtual machine install, it boots up within 10 seconds and shutdowns in just 5 seconds, proving how efficient it really is. Unlike other popular distros, Zorin OS does not have comprehensive official documentations or wikis, but it has an active and friendly community forum, where users can easily get help and solve their issues. Zorin OS 18 is a perfect distro for beginners, casual users, and even professionals who want a dependable, modern desktop operating system without diving deep into Linux internals. It is ideal for schools and small offices that need stability, and even for gamers who want an easy out-of-the-box setup. However, in my opinion, Zorin OS 18 is built especially as a Windows replacement that actually feels familiar. The Zorin Appearance tool lets you switch between different desktop layouts instantly, and Windows app support means you can run even Windows softwares, and it works great even on older hardwares. So, in my opinion, Zorin OS 18 represents the very best of what a ready-to-use GNU Linux system can be: polished, private, and practical. It is a distribution that proves you do not need to sacrifice simplicity for power or familiarity for freedom. So that is the new Zorin OS for you. If you are considering switching from Windows 10, definitely give Zorin OS 18 a try. And if you face any issue, feel free to write in the comment section. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel because it is the only motivation that keeps me going. And also check out my other videos exploring the world of free and open source. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.